Hey guys, it's just Jen, and I'm going to be starting a series, and this is the first video in my series of How Do I? And these are all viewer requested tips, tricks, and how-tos. And the first video in this series I'm going to be doing is going to be an elite clue, since I do enjoy doing elite clues. I have a couple others that have been requested of me, such as a farming guide. Since I do have 200 mil farming, a lot of people ask me, how did you get 200 mil farming? So I'm going to be giving some of the tips and tricks that I used when I got those. And this series is your series. So I need your input on things that you would like to see and you would like to know how to do. So make sure you go down to the comments and tell me what you would like to see, and I will do my best to get a video for you. One other thing I want to call out right now, I want you to look up at the screen to the left-hand side. You'll see a quick link. At any time in the video, if you want to skip to the next section or you already know how to do a particular section, feel free to use that to hop around. I'm going to be doing a clue scroll start to finish, so you aren't going to be able to see every possible scenario in this video. I do apologize, which will just be basically completing this clue scroll, and maybe in the future I'll record a few different scenarios that I might have as well, how to solve different puzzles or how I solve different puzzles, etc. So we're going to see what happens with this clue scroll. I'm going to go over a couple of the inventory items that I would suggest that you have on any clue scroll. It's what I always try to make sure I have in my inventory. And the first thing, and I say this and you might laugh at me for saying it, but it really is important to remember to bring your clue scroll. This has happened to me a couple times on stream. I've gone out into the wilderness and I've banked everything, including my clue scroll, and then I forget to get it out of my inventory. So that's actually like a major important call out. Make sure you have your clue scroll. The next really important thing, minimally, I would say you would need some teleport tabs. And you see I've got Vrock, Lumbridge, House, and Falador with me. You can bring every single one of them if you want to, but those are the ones that I bring. And as far as other teleports that you get through in-game, I would suggest having a Slayer helmet or a Slayer ring. There's a couple of teleports that are useful there. If you have the Desert Amulet, that I would suggest, because Narda, you can teleport to Narda. Same thing if you have the Mask of Dusk from the Squeal of Fortune. This will get you to the Chaos Tunnels, which if you are like me, you don't like those anyway. An easy way to get there is the Mask of Dusk. I always keep my Seer's headband with me because when you get a Lumbridge swamp, that counts as your light source, so you can take that in there with you, and you don't even have to equip it, by the way, for it to count as a light source. This Super Dominion Medallion, if you don't have the super, it doesn't matter, just to be able to teleport to the north of the desert there. Ectophile, that's pretty self-explanatory. Same thing with the Dunge Ring, pretty self-explanatory. If you have the Draken Medallion, it's handy to get over to the bank there, and as well as the Barrows area if you're looking, if you have a clue in that area. Explorer's Ring, I don't generally use it to teleport, but if you were running around a lot, Run Replenish is great. I've had several times where I've run out of run because of running around so long looking on a scan clue, or even in the wilderness. That's another place that you lose a lot of run. Ring of Dueling, I use that occasionally to use the Grand Tree to get down into the Uglog area, etc. You don't need an Asylum Surgeon ring, that was just in my inventory because I replaced it with a Ring of Wealth. I always wear a Ring of Wealth, or try to remember to wear a Ring of Wealth. Whether it works or not, I don't know, but the Amulet of Glory, obviously, you know what teleports are on Amulet of Glory, and then the mask for the Witch Doctor Mask to take you to the Juju place for the jungles. Another really important thing to have is an anti-poison. You don't have to use an anti-poison plus, you can use whatever type of anti-poison, just something to clear that anti-poison. The reason I have anti-poison plus is because it protects from poison longer, as well as that's just what I use for normal bossing, etc. when I have to go to a boss that requires. Ascensions or any type of range weapon will work. I always take my Ascensions. You can take a Royal Crossbow. When I go into the wilderness, I always make sure I have a Royal Crossbow instead. Comp Cape or Max Cape, for getting back to the Max Cape, if you have. If not, then any cape will do. Right now I just have on my Exo from Thieving, because that's where I got this little clue. So there's really not much you need as far as gear. The Gothic wizards are pretty easy to kill, so I wouldn't suggest going all out and wearing anything major there as far as gear goes. This clue scroll here is one that when you click it, it's going to pop up a little box and it's going to give you a little map and a directional. In the directional, then you just have to be on the right level. Right now, we are in the elf city, so it's not going to be an elf city, so that means, hey, you're on the wrong level, get out. I'm gonna go ahead and go to Falador. That's kind of the center point of the map, and after we go to Falador, it's gonna give us an idea which direction we need to go. Now, how I determine where I go is I see the direction that the map it's pointing on the map. I pull up my home teleport map because I think it's easier than pulling up the main map. I only do that if I'm really stuck. Since we're in Falador, I look here and I see in that direction we've got Seers Village, we've got Ardone. I'm gonna go up to Fremnit Province in that area and see what direction it might be, and that'll give me an idea whether it's gonna be further south. I like to go to extremes when I'm doing. One of the easiest ways to get to Fremnik is if you've done the love story quest, you can modify and you can select to go to Relica there, and that will take you to the house portal at Relica. So upon arriving in Relica, I see we need to go further this direction. And normally when I land in an area, I do this. I walk a step north and a step south here. If you noticed, that little arrow started moving a little bit. When it starts moving, as it is right now, I'm just trying to show you, that means you're getting close. That means it's time to start using your mini map and running in the direction of that arrow. If we would have landed and it did not go in that direction, what I would have said is maybe go to a different town. But right now, it looks like we are running in the right direction. It's kind of pointing back and forth. But we see we need to go straight over here. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and teleport down to Seers because it's in that right direction, since Seers looks to be more of the area. There's no exact science for these that I have found, and maybe there is, but the way I found it is just hit and miss. So we're gonna teleport down to Seers, and Seers is gonna tell us to go this way. And let's click over here. And it looks like we're straight. Now there's a couple of different places where this one can be. It can actually be in this wooded area here, or it can be over by the coal trucks. And if you see how it looks like it's gonna be over towards the coal trucks. And if you notice now, it's starting to go and it's starting to change, which this tells me that I'm just gonna keep running in this direction so we can see. It's telling me that it's gonna go north here. So we need to get across this bridge and run up, and see it keeps telling me it's really sensitive right now. You see how it keeps running back and forth? And we're just gonna go this direction a couple steps. One more, maybe two more. All right. When you get to the correct spot, it's going to turn into an X. You just right click and dig on the scroll. Here, there's two options. Either you're gonna get a puzzle box or you're gonna get a Gothic wizard. And all you need to do is click on the puzzle and the puzzle scroll box, that's what we got right here. And it'll pop up a particular puzzle. There's two different kinds of puzzles you'll get. This is one of them, which this is the Celtic knot, or Celtic knot, I've heard it pronounced. And you can do this puzzle one of two ways. One, you can do it manually, which there are some people that are super fast at it, but unfortunately, I'm not one of those people. I look at this puzzle and it takes me for ages to do it. So what I do is I use a site, and I will link it down in the comments, so make sure you check down there below if you're looking for the link. I take a screenshot, and by taking a screenshot, I don't mean with Gyazo, don't take it with Imgur, don't take it with Push, don't take it with any of those. You need to actually take it with your computer. So you use the print screen button, and you make a print screen of that particular map, and then you paste it into the actual website, and I will show you exactly how to do that. All right, so this is the web page that we're going to use in order to solve our Celtic not faster. You can see the address right here. I'll also link it down in the description of the video. The first thing you need to do after you've taken your screenshots, just using your print screen, remember, Alt tab over to your web page, Control V to paste it in. Now if you see that says new puzzle loaded, too many possible solutions found, move your mouse over invert paths and load a new screenshot. So what that means is you need to hover over this gray invert path, print screen there again, and then go paste it in again. On occasion it will tell you to do it again, and if that's the situation, just move one or two of your gray, or just pick a color and move it a couple and make your screenshots again. This situation is a pretty easy solution. It's telling us not to touch the blue, to move the red 1 and the gray 5, and it'll tell you the direction with those little arrows, clockwise or counterclockwise. So I know that I need to come back and click the red 1 time, and then I need to click the gray 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you see all of the green lights on the runes. That means you have found the correct one. Sometimes if you're like me and you go fast, you might accidentally click 1 too many times. All you'll need to do then is just take another screenshot until you get all of your green. Now there's a couple of different patterns of these. It doesn't matter, they're all the same. You just screenshot them. When you get all of the green intersections right there lit, you just click unlocked and you'll get your new clue scroll. This is the second type of, and it doesn't go in any particular order, so don't think you're supposed to get the little map one first and then the scan clue. This is called a scan clue. The first thing you need to do is right click and read the scan clue. It's going to tell you what city it is and how many paces it is away. That just means how many paces from the time that you click on the scan. It'll tell you over down here, it'll say too far. This scan is, you need to be within 16 paces. So what I'm going to do is I actually have in the Max Guild, I have a portal to Zenarius, so I'm going to use that. It's my fast way of getting there. Another really quick way to do that is to use your Slayer ring or helmet and go to Relica. There's the quick, very, very quick. That's the fastest Slayer, or fastest ring I know is using the Slayer ring to get to the fairy rings. So now what we need to do is start scanning. Every town is different that you land in where it can possibly be. This can basically be all over Zenarius. So we're just gonna look at the map here. I always start in this area. I go down this way. I run down this way, run up this way, and down this way. I go up to the shrine, into the marketplace, down to the throne room. If it's not in any of those places, then I scan down here. That is my particular path. You can choose whatever path you'd like to go. If you'd like to go straight over to the market, I just try to base it upon where I've had them in the past most. And then what I do is I put it on my toolbar here, and mine happens to be the C. I always double check it and hit C a couple of times, or whatever key you choose for your keybind, because sometimes there is a little bit of a glitch. It doesn't show up the new area down here. So you want to make sure down here before you start running around, like I've done many times on stream as well, and it says 16 paces. So my first step is I'm going to come down, click my mouse here, and basically just every few seconds pressing the C key so I can scan. You don't have to, oh, we already found it. This one was an easy one. Okay, so if you notice up here, it starts glowing and it tells me how many coordinates away. And then on your mini map, if you look up in the upper corner where my mini map is, you can see it points right to the ground where you need to go. You stand on that and dig, just like you did with the other one. This one happens to give me another box, and this time it's a puzzle box. Okay, now for the puzzles, your goal is to work it in the first 3 rows you fill those in, and then you make it in the last few quadrants here. So the hint is you get it by hovering over the little side here where it says hint, and you'll be able to see the way the puzzle's supposed to look. I am just going to work this puzzle and kind of talk through it as I do. There isn't really anything I can do to make you a better puzzle maker besides, I would say, experience, and I will explain a few tips here at the end. The first 3 spots are pretty easy to do, so I got 1, 2, 3 there. And then what I want to do basically is I want to get the puzzle piece that belongs right here. I want to get it right here. So I have to locate that puzzle piece, which is located here. So I'm going to move that puzzle piece over to the spot that I just indicated that I'm going to have you. Okay, so it's 1 away. Then my next step is to get the piece that belongs right here to this open spot. So I will move it over here. So then I need to get this piece to move to the next spot over, and this piece here to move up to there. So I just manipulate all the pieces like that, and you see I have my first line done. Now the second 2 lines are exactly the same, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I need to get these 2 pieces over here. I wouldn't worry about, when you're a beginning puzzler, making them fit in any particular order besides just working on 1 piece at a time. Like if you saw and I did that, I got 2 pieces to the place. Don't worry about that when you're a beginning puzzler, because it becomes a whole lot more confusing. Don't worry about using the hint, because that is a very useful tool that Jagex has put into place there for you. So I'm just going to get, now, so I need this piece, I need to get it to this spot. Well, actually I need that piece there, so that's not going to work. For this situation, what you're going to do, this actually gives a good scenario. You need to pull this one down. Even though you really want it over there, you need to pull it down because you don't want this to be a part of the equation yet. Your first step is to get this piece to this spot. All right, and now you want this piece here. And then you move that one over and move that one into place. So we've got our first 2 rows completed. So now we're going to do the dragon face. And then start in on his body. Now this is another scenario that I love when it happens this way. This is another way you can do it. You can get the piece that belongs here in the spot here and the piece that belongs here in the spot down there. That's also another way to make it work easily on you. So those 2 just went into place really easily there. It just depends. When you get better at puzzling, you'll see things ahead of time and you'll position things ahead of time, which is very handy when you're trying to do it fast. Now, the next way this works is you need to get these 4 pieces in place first, then these actually 6 will follow afterwards. The first thing you need to do is the piece that belongs here, it needs to be here, which actually already is there. And the piece that belongs here, actually you need to get here. Normally they don't work this way, so I'm going to mix it up a little bit and show you a little bit more how to do that efficiently, because I don't know how long, if I'll get another puzzle on this clue or not. So, alright. So normally this is how your puzzle would look instead of as it was. So we're looking for the big multicolored piece and we want to put it here. So we just focus 1 piece at a time. Don't worry about the rest of the pieces. So that piece is in place. The next we need to get the little piece with the sand, which looks like this. We need it right here. So we focus on only that piece. And I think what problem I had when I first started doing these puzzles is I tried to focus on all of the pieces at once. Focus on 1 at a time. So I pull that one down and that one there. This one just happened to go in the right place. This puzzle was a little bit easier because it's the next piece, and I know it's just, you get those every now and then, where they all seem to be in the right place. right, so now, and this is the piece that needs to be here. What I actually have to do is pull it up one, because I need that one to be in that spot, and pull that one over so it stays there, so that one stays there. I need to get this piece over here. So I'm just gonna work it over using one at a time. Okay, when I get it into spot, I pull that out, put that one there, and now you see that portion. Now I need to get the one, this one happens to be in the right spot, and the next piece happens to be in the right spot, so we're good to go there. So I just need to put that piece up and pull that one over, and the final blank spot should be done right in that spot. So we're done. When we get done, we close it, and it gives us a new puzzle box. And this one, or a new scroll. In this case, it's another reed scroll, and it's gonna spin around because we are on the wrong level. So what we need to do is start back out at Falador again. And we see it goes straight across. I'm gonna do my step up and down. I see that it still is not hitting. In this situation, what I like to do is I like to go all the way over to Canvas, because that is going to give us a better idea if it's anywhere where exactly it is in between here and here. There are a couple of different ways you can get to Canvas, as we talked about. An easy one is the ectofill. And if you, okay, so this one actually is going straight across, so we know technically from here, we'll just pull up our map, technically from the ectofill it could be all the way over to the Canvas area. So then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use my Slayer helmet to pull there. So we know it is, and then if I go to Slayer Tower and it's not there, then I know that it's more over in the other areas. So that's kind of how I think through it. Like I said, teleport over to Mortania Slayer Tower. Alright, so we see that this one is somewhere between the Mortania Slayer Tower and the ectofill. So basically we just have to now start running in the direction. More steps. Oh, we know it's going this way, and it's going to be one more. And oops, went too far. Alright, so we're going to dig again. And we have another puzzle box. Another knot. So this is another one of the versions of the knots. I'll just do this real quick here. Now we need to go 6 blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and red 1, and gray 1. There we go. So this is a different puzzle here. It's got a little bit more than the last one that we had. You see all the different green lights up there. We'll go ahead and unlock it, and we have another scan clue. So we're going to read this one. And this one is in the Brimhaven dungeon, and the Brimhaven dungeon can be accessed by home teleporting to Karamja. And this actually happens to be one of my least favorite ones to do. Not the most least favorite, but one of my least favorites, because it's kind of one of those that you can't just scan easily. So first thing I do is I click on scan, because it could very well be right here in this opening area, which is always really nice. So take it and put it on your bar again. It does not always carry over. Make sure you test it to make sure you've got the scan ability going on here. And I go north, chop through the vines north. I just click my mouse over here into the corner and then keep scanning every few seconds. The more you scan, the quicker you'll get your location. So just scan around. If you do come into the Brimhaven dungeon, for example, if it is on a different level, there is the giants and the demons on the second level. You can go over there. I will show you when we get closer. And so it's not in this area. So now we know it's not there, so we're going to have to chop back through the vines. And I can pull up the map again and show you the different areas. So where we are is here, is we're getting ready to jump over the moss giants. You can scan in this area, then you scan over to the red dragons, you scan over in the black demons. It can be any of these areas: the fire giant area, the black demon, bronze dragons, red dragons, iron and steel. It's not going to be in the agility arena, so you don't have to worry about accessing that area. "14 paces isn't a very wide area, so you have to kind of make sure you scan in and around. We didn't cover this a whole area down here, just so you know. The scan radius did not reach that, so we will go back if it's not in this area over here, and when we go to the red dragons. The 20s, I like when they're the scanning of the 20s, because you get a whole big area included in that 20. 14 will do like this area here, but 20 will do like the whole map, so which is really nice. Scan clues can be very time consuming. Oh, there it is. So we're gonna go run to the flashing light on the mini map and on the screen. And we finally get a Guthix wizard. So basically, Guthix wizards aren't that hard. They do poison you, so the quicker you can kill them, the better. I was poisoned, which Jagex has so nicely added the poison timer there. Make sure, I always drink my poison right away, just because I don't like running around with poison hitting me while I'm trying to teleport. So we open this and we get another puzzle box. And, or actually it's a scroll. So now we have another scan, so we want to read it first. The Elven lands. Ooh, fun. Alright, so we are in the Elven land. First thing I like to do is reset my camera, so it's always facing north so I don't get lost. I'm really good at getting lost. Wrong way Jen, your other left Jen. If you've ever watched a stream, you've heard a few of those phrases. One of the reasons why I get lost so much is because my map is turned around and I end up running in the wrong direction. Alright, so I'm going to pull up the map like I have done on all of the other ones. Basically what we did, we got the teleport here. We scanned this area, and the main middle section is where we've scanned. After I scan this main middle section, not going too far off the path, then I hop on over to Lieta and to the Tyrus camp. And the way we will go ahead and do the Port Tyrus camp first. So teleport over to Port Sarum. Can be right in this area. I've had it there before. And go into the main city here. Just continuing to scan. start scanning, I run all the way up here because there's, oh, there it is, there's a possibility, which is actually a good thing because this will show you, this will be able to show you a way to get to that one, or how I get to it the most efficiently. To Iorwerth. And then from the Iorwerth, we are going to run out of the main city. So it's over there. We're gonna have to pass that, chop a tree, pass the trap right there, and there's our spot. And we have another Gothics wizard. This one's pointing a little bit south, so from Falador, if it goes south, I like to go down to Yanal. It is there, Yanal or Uglog is where that's going to be. Alright, so now we are in Yanal, and it's still pointing down. It's moving a little bit, but from my past experiences with this clue, it's not moving easy enough, so we're just actually going to go home telly down to Uglog, because that's still pointing down pretty far. Digging here, we get a casket. So a lot of times that means, see, it says open puzzle casket. So there's one more puzzle to do, which is actually the third type of puzzle there. So we are gonna print our screen. Yep, one more. Okay, so then we have the little green lights on all of those. Unlock, and we have our reward. This one is 217k, miscellaneous teleports, dragon helm, rune plate body, 15 swamp blizzards, and 40 mahogany planks. To be completely honest, even though the dollar amount isn't that high, it's honestly not that bad of a clue, because you can sell most of this stuff on the GE pretty easily. So alright, well that is how I do my clue scrolls. Like I said, there's a whole lot of different methods out there for how you scan. You kind of have to develop your own personal liking. Sometimes I find them right away. Sometimes I actually have to go through the town again because I didn't walk quite far enough. My thought on it is scan a little bit extra, or walk a little bit extra at the first time so you don't have to rescan again. Kind of get an idea of look on your map when you find a scan clue, have an idea of the relationship on your map of about where 14 paces is and where 22 paces is. That way you can kind of know how far you have to go out. That is another tip. I would also say always use the same path. Always teleport into the same place in the city. Like if it says within the walls of Varrock, for example, I like to teleport to the home lodestone because I can start from the south of the town and work my way north. If I use my teleport tab, I'm kind of in the middle of the town. So that's how I like to do it. You'll have to figure each town has a different way. Each scan, you will start in a different place. You might start differently from me. It's all a personal preference. Make sure to have lots of different teleports in your inventory so you don't have to bank a lot, especially if you don't have a quick free bank like a comp cape or a max cape. If you have any other questions, I'll try in the future maybe to, when I get specific cities, when I'm doing clue scrolls, I'll try to maybe get a little compilation of all the different ones. There are some really great guides I will link down in the bottom, so be sure to check the descriptions for all the different places that I've used in the past to find my clue scrolls. And if you have any questions, you can always leave them in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. Any other videos that you would like to see on how to do what you would like, let me know as well, because I would be more than happy to share my way of doing it. Might not be the most efficient or best way, but it's the way I get it done, and if I can do it, you can do it. I hope you have a great rest of your day, happy scaping, and good luck with those clue scrolls.